Hey there, Miranda Wilson here with another lesson idea to go along with our adapted articles. Our goal is to highlight and explain some of the additional resources we've curated to help with your lesson planning. Today, we'll focus on the article titled, How Can Polar Bears Survive Longer in a Changing Climate? Kristen Lydra and her colleagues examined a subpopulation of polar bears in southeast Greenland. These polar bears use ice broken off from glaciers to hunt from when sea ice is scarce. In a warming climate where there's less sea ice every year, this strategy allows polar bears to hunt and survive better throughout the year. Because these polar bears live near glacial fjords, they're fairly genetically isolated. Genetic analysis has currently identified 19 distinct subpopulations of polar bears. This group that lives in southeast Greenland is genetically distinct enough to represent a 20th subpopulation of polar bears in the Arctic. We know that sometimes students can find reading articles, even adapted ones, a bit tedious. So we've curated links to some additional resources that could round out your lesson plans with experiments and hands-on activities. Today, we're going to focus on a really cool lab for middle school or high school students that can go along with this article, or really any of our articles that have to do with climate change. We'd recommend doing the lab first, along with an introduction to climate change in general, and then use the article to show students a specific impact of climate change. You can't beat an easy hands-on lab followed up by fluffy polar bears. This lab is from National Geographic and demonstrates the greenhouse effect, which, as we know, is the mechanism by which our climate is warming. The materials are common, and the lab can be done outside in the sunshine or inside if you have heat lamps. We do recommend using sodium bicarbonate tablets instead of just baking soda. Students will set up 2 plastic bags, both with a cup of water inside. The sodium bicarbonate tablets will be added to one of the bags, which will release carbon dioxide, one of the most common greenhouse gases. The other bag will act as the control. Make sure that both bags have some room for expansion so they don't explode. Students will measure the temperature within each bag every 5 minutes for 45 minutes. There's a nice table for students to fill out, and you could even have students graph their results to have a more visual comparison. There are also several follow-up questions to the lab, and several questions that challenge students to think more deeply about the greenhouse effect and the impact it has on our changing climate. This lab is a great introduction to why the climate is changing, which makes it a fantastic precursor to our article about the impact of climate change on polar bears. Make sure to check out our collection of climate change articles, as well as other articles dealing with the impact of climate change on animals, like Why Are Whales in Trouble Again? Or How Will Climate Change Affect Arctic Birds? If you're looking to incorporate climate change into a larger discussion of sustainability, you could check out our blog post on teaching environmental sustainability with Earth Overshoot Day, which has more article and activity suggestions. Don't forget to take a look at our videos at the bottom of the article page when you're planning your class time. There's always a video meant to introduce the topic of the article to your students. For each adapted article, we also provide an audio version of the article being read for those students who might need a little extra help with their reading skills. You can access our audio versions on the webpage for each adapted article or on the Science Journal for Kids YouTube channel. That's all for today. If you'd like more teaching tips and ideas for lesson planning, please check out the audio or video versions of our Lesson Ideas podcast. Also, make sure to check out our Ask a Scientist videos for short interviews with some of our researchers. You can find them on our YouTube channel. If you have questions or comments, please share them in the feedback form on our website. You can also sign up for our free monthly newsletter to learn about our latest content. And as always, please visit our website, sciencejournalforkids.org, for more free science teaching resources.